So this is workshop number 1, module number 2 of the workbook, and this is basically the detail of everything that you learned in the workshop. You've seen the planning pyramid, and some of you may be right at the bottom of the planning pyramid and some of you might be right at the very top, and it really doesn't matter. The whole goal of this workshop is to be able to get better. If you are at the top, you shouldn't be sitting pretty, sitting happy, because you can always improve. And if you are someone who really struggles with your planning and your time management, don't worry, you can get better. That's the whole goal of this workshop. And it's very arbitrary looking at the planning pyramid. People are visual, so I just wanted to be able to kind of break down planning levels into something visual. But there's going to be days where even the most organized person is going to struggle to get even their number 1 priority done. And then there may be days where someone who struggles with organization has a great day and gets everything done that they need to. And so when you work through this module, I just want you to keep in mind what you're aiming for. If you struggle to get your top 3 tasks done every day, make that your priority. And then as you get better at scheduling those top 3 tasks, then try and add in some 50-minute blocks. But to keep it very, very simple, your only goal every day is to make a list of everything that needs to get done, prioritize it, decide when you're going to get your priority tasks done, and then schedule as much else as you can. That's as simple as that. A list of priorities, when you're going to do them, get them done, and plan lots of mini breaks in between to try and recharge yourself so that you can work as productively as possible. But as you work through this particular module, you will see that we are aiming for incremental growth, not perfection. So everything starts with a mind flush. Ideally, you're going to do this either on a Friday evening or Friday afternoon before you go home, so that your mind is clear for the weekend. You've listed out all your priorities and you can go home and switch off. If you are someone who prefers to just find some quiet time at the weekend, make some time to do your mind flush at the weekend. If you're really resistant to doing it, schedule it early in the morning and then plan something that you enjoy for afterwards as a reward for getting it done. But the importance of a mind flush is just that you get everything down on paper. It's different from a to-do list. A to-do list is literally just the things that you have to do, and normally on your to-do list you're going to have the most urgent things, or the things that you've put off doing are suddenly critical. Whereas a mind flush is looking objectively at all the things that you want to get done, all the things that you need to get done, and all the things that are going to get you closer to your goal. So you want to write down all of those lists. Those are things on a big long list, which is your mind flush. If you are someone who is very organized and very efficient, you need to be thinking expansively. You should be having all those challenging goals that you don't know if you can hit, all those dream wish list things that you would like to get done. They should be all on your mind flush. If you are someone who really, really struggles to do a mind flush, to write a list, just start off with 10 critical things that you know need to get done. If you're struggling, start off with the things that need to be done today, tomorrow, this week, this month, next month, this year, and things that you'd like to get done sometime in the future. When you look at that list, when you're done, and it should only take you probably 5 to 10 minutes to write the list, it shouldn't be something that's a burden. You need to look at the tasks. Is there anything that you've got on the list that you feel you should do, but you know you'll never actually get round to doing? Eliminate it. Is there anything that you can delegate? Delegating tasks is great. Just make sure that person is capable of doing the tasks that you've delegated, and it's not just you're delegating it because you don't want to do it. When you've got rid of all the tasks that can be eliminated or delegated, you need to look at the tasks on your list and prioritize them. And you will find that there'll be some things that you have to get done this week, and there's some things that you get done next week, and some things are much longer term. If your list is very long, don't be overwhelmed. You're going to just focus on the things for this week and for next week. And how you prioritize the other tasks is up to you. It could be that you prioritize something that will take you several months to complete, but it'll have a really big impact on your life, so you want to prioritize it. Or you could prioritize lots of really small things that have been on your mind for a while that you can just knock out. You know, calling an annoying customer back quickly, scheduling a job, quickly getting out some quotes, something like that. You may have lots of things like that, and you can schedule them quickly and get them taken care of. Once you've prioritized that list, you need to decide what is your number one priority for this week, what has to get done, and then look at all the other priorities that have to get done this week. That is going to be your focus. Everything that's not due this week is going to be on that list. You can come back to it when you schedule for next week. So what's your number one priority for the week, your top 3 tasks, and then all the other tasks that have to get done this week in priority after that. So once you've done that, like I say, don't overthink it. It should take you, if it's the first time you've done a mind flush and it's got everything on it, it may take you 15 minutes. But when you do this weekly, it should never take you more than about 5 minutes. And the more you do it, the shorter your list is going to get. So what do you do with that prioritized mind flush? The first thing is you have to schedule your number one priority and your top 3 tasks. And you do this by figuring out when is your best time to get those tasks done. For those of you who aren't in operations, the first 90 minutes of your day is the most productive time of your day, and so you need to try and schedule your number one priority for the first 90 minutes of your day. Maybe not the first 90 minutes of your Monday, if that's kind of a crazy time, but certainly the rest of the week. If you're in operations and the first 90 minutes of your day is spent scheduling technicians, you need to schedule what I call the power hour sometime later. If you know that between 10:30 and 11:30 things are just a little bit quieter, you could schedule that as your power hour to work on your number one priority and your top 3 tasks. This is slightly different to your 50-minute blocks because those are just for other tasks. This is those critical tasks. When are you going to get them done? Because if you get your number one priority completed every day, that's 5 priority tasks a week that are going to get you closer to your goal, or 250 a year. And so it mounts up. So once you've identified when you're going to complete your number one priority and your top 3 tasks, then you need to look at all the rest of your day. And you're going to be scheduling, you're going to have certain things on your calendar already that you can't get around. You just have to work around those times. If you're scheduling meetings, try and schedule them for times when you're not as productive. Maybe if you have if you're feeling tired after lunch, schedule meetings for then, because for most meetings you don't need to be on your A game. If it's like a strategy meeting, you may want to plan that for a time when you're more focused, but most meetings can be scheduled when you're not at your peak productivity. Then you want to be scheduling in those rewards. If you are scheduling your time in 50-minute blocks, then you work for 50 minutes and then you take 10 minutes to stand up, take a break, go grab a coffee, go grab a soda, send a text, call someone, just do something that just gives your mind a break and recharges you. If you can control social media, schedule a 10-minute social media break. But if you can't get off social media after 10 minutes, don't do that. I know there's lots of people who, it's like that rabbit hole. You start on it and you think you're going to be 10 minutes on your social media of choice, and then before you know it, 30 minutes has been wasted. But if you can keep it to 10 minutes, schedule it as a reward. You can also schedule things like lunch with family, with friends, with co-workers, as a way to motivate you to get everything done and stick to your schedule in the morning. So once you've scheduled your rewards, once you've got all those meetings that you can't get out of, pre-scheduled things on your calendar, that's when you look at your mind flush and the priorities that you have there. Priorities 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. Not your top 3 tasks. Those you schedule in your power hour, your first 90 minutes. And so you look at all those priorities and you say, okay, so when is the best time to do this? And you want to make sure that you build in enough time to schedule each task and get it done. You don't want to underestimate the time that you're going to be taking to do the task, otherwise you'll have half finished things. But also you need to make sure when you're working with focus and you're eliminating distractions so that you are getting the task done as quickly as possible. So schedule in 50-minute blocks. If you want to schedule in an additional power hour to work on priorities, you can do. Schedule them throughout the day. Try and, when you look at your prioritized mind flush, if you have certain tasks that you can group together, like returning calls or replying to emails, or if you can combine scheduling and invoicing together, do that. You want to be able to chunk tasks and group tasks. If you can put off replying to emails throughout the day and return all your emails in a 50-minute block in the morning or a 50-minute block in the afternoon, you are going to be much more efficient. And then the final thing that I recommend everybody does at the end of the day is a mini mind flush, where you just see what came up during the day that you didn't get completed and decide if you want to do it tomorrow or when is the best time to do it. And just look at your task, your prioritized tasks from your mind flush for this week, see if you need to add anything in, and then reprioritize for tomorrow. That way, when you go home, you know you've got a great schedule for tomorrow and you don't have to think about all the things that you still need to do. So obviously that is the ideal way to schedule your day. I know for some of you, the thought of scheduling out your day hour by hour in 50-minute blocks is completely overwhelming, and you know that even if you did that, you wouldn't be able to stick to the schedule. If that is you, focus on doing a mind flush, or at least writing down your top 10 priorities for the week, and then scheduling your number one priority either for the first 90 minutes of each day or in a power hour. If you are more efficient, then you may fall somewhere kind of in the middle, where you can get your top 3 tasks done most of the time at the beginning of the day, and maybe you could schedule in a 50-minute block later on for a task that you know you complete each day. But for those of you who sat through the workshop and thought, I do all of this, yep, I do this, I'm really organized, I'm really efficient, my challenge to you is to set much, much bigger goals and to really challenge yourself. If you time block and you normally get 10 quotes done in an hour, can you push yourself to get 12 quotes done in an hour, or whatever it may be? That may be that may be too many quotes to do in an hour, but you know what's realistic. And if you pride yourself on how efficient you are, how well you manage your time, my challenge to you is to do more, because you are the kind of person who can get so much more done because you manage your time efficiently. Don't let that be a way to get things done quickly and then move on to something else. Really challenge yourself. But ultimately, just remember, your goal is to get incrementally better. If you can get a little bit better every day, whether you are someone who struggles to get their number one priority done, or whether you are someone who works at a very high level and is very organized, you can always do more. You can always push yourself to do more. And that is the goal of this program.